Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I really wanted to get on here and talk about one of the films I got a chance to see this week, and that is Memoir of a Snail, written and directed by Adam Elliot, starring Sarah Snook, Kodi Smit-McPhee, Eric Ibana, Nick Cave, and Jacki Weaver. And this follows a girl named Grace Puddle and her twin brother Gilbert, and kind of chronicles their relationship as they get split apart and go into foster homes, and basically chronicles their trials and tribulations that they experience in each of their new locations. And the story spans a couple of decades, and so you really get a full portrait of these individuals, especially Grace Puddle and all the unique and wacky characters that come into her life. Now, I will say Adam Elliot is someone that I've gotten into very recently. I mean, I saw Harvey Crumpet back in my senior year of high school. I absolutely loved it. And so it had been a while until I finally took the plunge and watched Mary and Max, which I think is probably the greatest film in stop-motion animation. I think it's one of the greatest animated films of all time, an absolute masterpiece. And so naturally my expectations were insanely high for this one because that came out in 2009. So it took him 15 years to complete this project, and I had a feeling since it took that long, the eventual effort was going to be worth it in the end. And what I will say is I don't think it has as collectively as many great jaw-dropping moments as Mary and Max does. It undeniably is still on par with that film, and I think the ending of this movie is just even more emotionally resonant. Like, I was full on crying watching this film in theaters, and that does not happen too often. And all these reasons and more is why I think Memoir of a Snail is the absolute best animated film of this decade so far. I mean, Adam Elliot proves once again that he is one of the greatest auteurs in the animated medium, and the animation itself I think is even better than Mary and Max. It's a lot more polished. You could tell there was a bit more of a budget for this one, but it never feels like it loses that sense of charm and the wacky and distinct character designs that Adam Elliot is so well known for. And he certainly doesn't lose the same tone that he's had throughout his films. You know, that really beautiful and hysterical sense of tragic comedy that plays out through this entire movie. One scenario after the next will have you absolutely giggling and then absolutely mortified for the characters like 20 minutes later. I mean, it is just an unbelievable act of tonal execution that I think really is why Adam Elliot stands out in the animated field. And of course I think that also has to do with how brilliant this script is, because just like with Mary and Max, he leaves no stone unturned here and really builds this narrative in such a beautiful and surprising way that feels so fully fleshed out. Every single little detail you get to learn about these characters' lives somehow play a more significant role in what eventually plays out by the end of this movie. And yet again, I think this is one of the best screenplays of the year, easily, as is with most of his movies. Now, I have to talk about the performances, of course, and I think everyone is going to single out Sarah Snook as Grace Puddle, who really brings such a beautiful and raw authenticity to this role. You really understand that she's very much a good-hearted person who tries to be as inviting as possible to all the people in her life, but turn after turn, I mean, just kind of is emotionally abandoned. And so when she does find those connections that really matter, you really do feel for her. And just everything that she goes through, her arc is just absolutely incredible. And I really love the emotionality of Sarah Snook's voice work. It is so distinct, but also so personable. And yeah, this is an absolute great animated vocal performance here, as you could say for most of the cast. I think the only other one, though, who really gets to shine is Jacki Weaver as her older friend she befriends, Pinky, who is such this bizarre and very balls to the wall character who lives life to the fullest, and I absolutely love what she brings to the movie and her importance to the story itself. And I think that relationship is one of the most integral in the entire film, as is with her brother Gilbert, the older version played by Kodi Smit-McPhee, who doesn't get as much to do in the narrative as some of the other players, but my goodness, he definitely is utilized to his fullest extent, and I really, really love the character of Gilbert. I mean, this movie takes these characters and explores some really, really interesting ideas like mental illness, body dysmorphia, weight issues, religious fanaticism, and hypocrisy. I mean, all these ideas are fully on display in this film, and they play out in some very, very tragically powerful ways that didn't really catch me off guard, because I knew you're going to see an Adam Elliot movie, you're going to dive into some dark territory, but I thought it explored all these ideas beautifully and really built to such a cathartic emotional payoff, if anything. And what this film has to say about, perseverance and going forward in life no matter what trials are placed in front of you, and to find that there's some worth and beauty in the world left living for. I mean, it is just such a touching story that I think is going to make everyone laugh, it's going to make everyone cry, and it's just going to be seared into your brain. It's such a rewatchable movie. It's a breezy 94 minutes, of course, because stop motion animated films are definitely a tough nut to crack, let's be honest here. It definitely took a lot of meticulous craft and care to make this film, which is probably why we waited 15 years for another Adam Elliot movie. But I am so happy to report that this one completely met my expectations, which were so lofty, in fact, that it's kind of surreal that it actually hit it. If I had to say anything, and it's not really a criticism because I don't really know how I can make this a criticism, I just think that some of the beats in this movie are, kind of similar to what he's done before. It kind of treads, very similar thematic elements. But at the same time, I'm like, why is that really an issue? Because it works so damn well, and he's always able to craft something so wholly original and moving that, I mean, I really don't know what I have bad to say about this movie. I can't wait to go back and see it again this weekend in theaters. It is one of the few movies I would bestow the title of masterpiece from this decade. And I'm going to give Memoir of a Snail a 10 out of 10. This is definitely a must-see for any fans of animation, for fans of cinema in general. This is going to be one of most people's best movies of the year, I almost guarantee it, and certainly one that won't leave you without tears falling down your cheeks. Now, this year has been absolutely nuts. I mean, literally 4 out of 5 of the best movies of the decade literally came out this year. So, I don't even know what's going on, but I can't believe just how much we are getting. We are in this new golden age of film, and it is really unbelievable the amount of amazing, inspired, and creative projects that have been coming from some very visionary filmmakers like Adam Elliot and so many other people. And this is a great time to be a fan for film, and definitely, if you are a fan of film, please check out Memoir of a Snail, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. Of course, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews like this. Once I get back home, I'm going to do a few more reviews like Jesse Eisenberg's A Real Pain, so stay tuned for that one, and so much more. I will talk to you guys later.